I'm Danny, that witch next door, and you're listening to That Witch Podcast. Hi, neighbor. Welcome to another episode of That Witch Podcast. If you don't already know me, hi, I'm Danny. I'm that witch next door. Today, I'm going to be your host, your guide, your mentor, and instructor in all things magic, witchcraft, astrology, and witchy business. And I am so excited to get into another pep talk with everyone today. I am really just vibing right now. Overall, things have been a little bit crazy, a little bit hectic in my life as they always tend to be a little bit as a mom and business owner and partner and witch and ADHDer. But fall is here, and fall marks the very beginning Libra season, the autumn equinox. This marks the very beginning of mine and my husband's most favorite time of year. Pretty much now all the way through to the end of the year, we just absolutely soak up every minute of the fall and winter season and all of the holidays and celebrations and just the vibe and the air and all of it. So, even though things are always a little bit busy and a little bit crazy, it's been really, really nice. We've been able to actually take some time off together, which is really amazing, being in a position finally after like so much that we've worked for over the years. We're finally in this position where we can take time off together with our daughter, and whether that's just staying at home and hanging out together or going out and about. We've already hit a few of our local spirit Halloween stores, already picked out our costumes, of course, but I can't tell you what those are yet. Whether we're out and about, whether we're at home, it's been so amazing just taking a little bit of time off whenever we can and spending it together, or doing some what we call together alone time, which is we're all kind of together in the vicinity where we can enjoy each other's company, but kind of being independent, doing our own thing. We love it. Highly recommend. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit what's going on in my world. I am really excited to let you know that I want to kind of update the structure a little bit of our regular podcast episodes. So Moon Day Musings kind of already has its own little structure. But as for our regular Tuesday episodes, I wanted to start implementing some segments, honestly, kind of like little radio show segments, because there's always so much going on in my world, going on in the neighborhood, going on in that witch school, going on in the world, going on right everywhere. And I really would like to start implementing some segments so that everybody gets to stay nice and up to date every single week. I think that this will be really, really helpful because a lot of these segments kind of hit a lot of common questions that I get a lot. But also just some of my favorite things to talk about that I don't want to forget to talk to you about. So before we dive into Libra energy and the Libra pep talk today, I first want to let you know kind of our school newsletter, our school bulletin. What's the haps over in that witch school? I think that there are so many different little pots that I got brewing on the stove that I forget to come on here and talk to you about all of the just absolute magic that we learn from each other and create with each other over in the school. And one of the coolest new things that we just started doing is the shadow work support group calls. So I opened up the shadow work support group a little while ago, not too long after the school opened its doors to everyone. And I always wanted the school to have some kind of shadow work support, some kind of mental health support where it's not just all focused on education and learning, but there is this community and there are resources for actual support in our lifestyle and our journey as witches and practitioners, yes, but just as people. Now, what started as a thread in our private online community, our social platform on Mighty Networks, where we would offer exercises or journal prompts to encourage and promote shadow work, but more specifically in a safe, supportive space where you could work through those exercises with one another, has now morphed into group community support calls. And I am so incredibly grateful because our guest teacher from our summer quarter, Reverend Sierra Bose, you can find her on Instagram at Shadows and Grimoires. She's linked in the show notes here before. She is a holistic health coach and mentor, therapist, shamanic healing reverend. Sierra is an absolutely amazing, multifaceted practitioner that I have personally been working with for many, many months now and has absolutely transformed my health journey. She started working with us in the summer quarter and is now hosting us in our shadow work support group calls. So this really is like witchy support group therapy. And it is totally and 100% included in the students' enrollment package. And we just had our first call this past week. And honestly, just as an individual, it was such an amazing experience. I cannot wait to see how much this continues to bloom and grow. So if this is something that you really think that you would benefit from as well, or something that you have kind of already been looking for, please head over to thatwitchnextdoor.com/enroll. You can join us right now and get immediate access. And of course, if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, thatwitchnextdoor.com/conjurethatwitch. So our next little segment here, I wanted to do before we hop into today's main content, specifically because today's episode was inspired by this neighbor. So it's time for the neighbor spotlight. And today, this is Kay from YouTube. So hi, Kay. Kay reached out on YouTube for the Virgo pep talk and asked if I'd consider releasing the zodiac pep talks at the beginning of the solar season instead, so that everyone could get more use out of them than them coming out mid-season. I've always, my intention was always to release the pep talk when we are just at the absolute peak and height of that zodiac's energy. But I absolutely hear this and I definitely see the benefit in this. So I want to start doing the pep talks at the beginning, not long after the sun moves into that zodiac sign. So that is exactly why the pep talk is coming out today. So thanks, Kay. We really appreciate you. And now let's talk about Libra energy. I am so excited to talk to you about Libra energy today because this is, in my opinion, one of the most misunderstood and kind of in a lot of astrological education or like pop culture, I really find Libra energy to be very talked about in a very misguided fashion. I see where a lot of people are coming from, but we tend to, just like we do with Gemini, just like what happens a lot with Scorpio, just like what happens a lot with Taurus. So Gemini, it's always this like, honestly, with Gemini, it's just the worst because everyone's just like, in general, in the mainstream community, just kind of shits on Gemini in general. Scorpio always gets labeled like these evil, demon, terrible, manipulative fuckheads. Like, stay away from, big, glaring no sign around them. Taurus, one of my biggest pet peeves, Taurus gets watered down to food. I like, honestly, people like don't even try to describe past that, which is so insulting to a sign ruled by Venus to not even give an effort into really truly describing its energy. And the same thing goes for Libra, very, very much so. So I don't want to focus this Libra pep talk on relationships because we already really thoroughly and really effectively covered this beautiful aspect of Libra in a really kind of big, open, general way that can be applied in many, many areas of your life on the Libra New Moon Shadow Chats with Ashley. So if you haven't already listened to that, or even if you it's a really good episode. You can go listen to it again. Maybe it'll hit a little bit different after you listen to this episode. So I'm not going to focus on that aspect of Libra. Instead, my friends, my neighbors, we're going to talk about your head and we're going to talk about your heart. When you think of Libra, I want you, if you don't already, which you very well may, I want you to think of those scales, okay? Those balancing scales that symbolize Libra energy. And I want you to label one of them with your head and the other one with your heart. And in my opinion, this is really represented in Libra by the fact that it is an air, associated with the air element. It's an air sign. And here's your head. And it is also ruled by the planet Venus. And here's your heart. Now, the sun is also, if not even more so, very, very much associated with your heart and the very core and center of you. And Venus is very, very much associated with our values. And so there is definitely a lot of heart energy in Venus. This is the goddess and planet of love, after all. And so when the sun, right, this heart placement is in the sign of Libra, we really, really, really are talking about balancing our head and our heart. Anytime there's a Libra transit, I really believe that we're kind of confronted with this and we're asked about this. Maybe it's our inner child asking, maybe it's our higher self, maybe it's actual people around us. We can definitely get lost in one over the other. Neither is superior to the other one. And this is really what Libra teaches us. It's not about one being superior to the other. It's about finding that sweet spot. And here's the key. Here's the ticket when it comes to Libra. That sweet spot, that perfect spot of harmony, right when it balances just perfectly and holds itself there in balance. That sweet spot is different for everybody. And I really think that this is the area where Libra brings and teaches us compassion, because it's not about a hierarchy. It's not about superiority. It's not about putting everyone into the same box, into the same category. It's about genuinely listening. And here's your head. It's about genuinely opening yourself up, opening your ears, and really, really listening and really absorbing. And then it's embracing and allowing and receiving. There is this softness to Libra, definitely owed to that Venus rulership. And there is a hardness to Libra. And this evolved energy knows when to push the pedal or release the pedal of the other one every so often. Sometimes we need a little more head and a little less heart. Sometimes we need a little more heart and a little less head. Sometimes they're supposed to be a little bit more equal with one another. It depends on the situation. It depends on the person. All of these different factors, this is that intellectual air energy. There is a natural analytic energy to Libra. It is an extremely intelligent energy, which is, again, one of the biggest reasons I get so upset with how watered down this sign is, when people just talk about Libra being a little crybaby who just bends over backwards for absolutely anyone and everyone and loses their self-worth and their identity. And listen to me. All of those problems, my friend, especially in one person, they're going to come from lots of places in the chart. It's going to come from combinations. It's going to come from different interactions between placements in that person's chart and how they're utilizing it. It's not all watered down to Libran energy, because Libra is very, very stoic. This is probably my favorite word to describe this energy is stoic. And it's really the main vibe and energy that I want to give you all today. It's what I want you to take away from this and what I want you to take into this Libra season. I want you to explore Stoicism. Now, Stoicism is an actual ancient school of philosophy. And that is a very easy little Google search and internet rabbit hole away if you'd like to go fall down that for yourself. But I have kind of my own and kind of a modern definition and connotation of the word stoic and of stoicism. And Libra absolutely embodies this. To me, stoic is the ability to move through any and all emotions and feelings we experience. It's a lack of fear around our own feelings and emotions. This lack of fear means that not only are we not afraid to feel and face them, we're also not controlled by them. We're also not powerless to them. There is a beautiful harmony between attachment and detachment of our emotions. And this is really, truly exemplified by all of the air signs and by the air element in general. But Libra brings in that heart piece, really, really reminding us how much our heart, how much our feelings really do matter, how much they go into the decisions that we make, go into the judgment that we have, the way we conceptualize, the way we relate, and therefore the way we reflect within ourselves. And our emotions and our feelings are one piece of the puzzle. Maybe a complex piece at that, but they're not the only piece. And I really, truly believe the scales energy reminds us of this. That we can move through any pain, any hardship, any difficulty, any challenge. We can see through to the other side, no matter what, if we choose it. Balance your head and your heart. Don't choose one over the other. Don't value one over the other. Let them talk to each other. Let them question each other. Let them answer each other. Don't encourage them to be afraid of one or the other, and don't pit them against one another as enemies. How can they work together? This brings us to our final segment of the show today, which is I want to leave you all with a tarot or oracle card question. You could even turn these into journal prompts, use this to pull a rune, any kind of divination. You could use this to just meditate on and sit with and ask your guides to come forward. You could use this in an automatic writing exercise, however it fits for you. But our intuitive, introspective question that I'm going to leave you all with today, in light of everything that we've talked about with this beautiful, beautiful Libra energy, is how are your head and your heart currently communicating with one another? What does that look like? Okay, that's question number one. Question number two is, what parts of that do you like? What parts of that connection, that current connection between your head and your heart, are you grateful for? Third would be, in what ways can you strengthen and nurture that bond and connection and relationship between your head and your heart this Libra season? It can be a little 3-card spread, a little three prompt journal entry, whatever feels right for you. But I want you to explore those. So if you need to pause and rewind, you can. But one more time, what does the current connection look like between your head and your heart? What about that current connection are you really grateful for? And finally, how can you nurture and strengthen the bond between your head and your heart this Libra season? If you ask your cards, if you write about this in your journal, if you would like to share I would love to see what you get, or I would love to hear what comes up for you. Especially if you're in that witch school, we can talk about that all together. And you know that I'm always just right next door, thatwitchnextdoor.com/conjure that witch. I just want to thank all of you for your time today and every day. It means the absolute world to me. If you are interested in learning more about my new online astrology course, stick around. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you next time. But if you would like to learn more, I would love to have you stay and hear more about this, what's honestly been such a passion project of mine. I have kind of had this class rumbling and tumbling around in my head for so long now, for definitely at least a couple of years now. Um, so my new online astrology course is level 1 astrology with that witch next door, the bones of the chart. And this 2-hour class is based on my applicable astrology mini series. And very, very much like the applicable astrology mini series, this class is not meant to be sat down and taken in its full 2-hour entirety. There are chapters in the video, and there are sections within the presentation to let you know when to start and stop your video. But this is really, really meant to be totally customizable to your lifestyle and your schedule, and spread out along as many days or weeks or even months that fit best for you. And not only your schedule, but how you learn, your natural and organic learning style. This is a packed class where we are going over the entire zodiac wheel, meaning all 12 of the zodiac signs, all of their ruling planets, all 12 of the astrological houses, plus the major angles of the chart, so that you can really start to get a grasp for the true birth chart. I want you to start kissing those table charts on Cafe Astrology and CoStar goodbye. And you can do this. That is my entire intention with astrology, with that witch next door, is to help you get truly comfortable reading the astrological chart for yourself, and moreover, letting the chart speak to you. This is available now on my website, thatwitchnextdoor.com/astrology. This includes a 2-hour in total video, like I said, complete with video chapters so that you can save your progress, but also so that you can jump around or re-listen to certain parts one or more times, and you don't have to kind of scroll and fast forward through. You can just see right there in the chapters which section you're on and which section you want to jump to. This also, I am so incredibly excited to let you know. One of my favorite things about this course is it comes with not only the presentation slides that you'll see in the video, but it also includes a printer-friendly and mobile-friendly PDF workbook. So you can follow along in the class directly with me. You can take notes directly on the PDF, whether that's electronically, on your iPad, on your tablet, on your phone, or you can print pages out and with your own pen or pencil, take notes right there and follow along with me. This is my recommendation to help you retain the information as effectively as possible. This is the course that I wish that I would have taken when I was first learning astrology. That's exactly how I wanted to design it for all of you. So this course is everything that I mentioned. All is included for $111, but this week only, till the end of September, okay? So to the end of this week, the end of September, September 30th, you can go online now and use code NEIGHBOR88 to get $22 off your order and get the class for $88, okay? And honestly, if this sounds interesting to you, if you can't wait to take my courses, if you like the content that I offer, you can get immediate access to this course and all of its materials and so much more for just $44 a month by enrolling in That Witch School. So if you're interested in this course and you think you're going to be interested in the future courses coming from me as well, I highly, highly recommend checking out That Witch School for yourself. All right. If you have any questions on any of this, if you ever have any problems in the online store or with enrollment, anything like that, whether it's technical, astrological, spiritual, my inbox is open. I am here for you. thatwitchnextdoor.com/conjurethatwitch. Thank you so much for your support, neighbor. Without you, absolutely none of this would be possible. So thank you truly for your time today and every day. It means the world to me. All right. I hope that you have an absolutely beautiful, beautiful rest of your week. Make sure that you stay safe. Make sure you have a bunch of fun. It's Libra season after all. And stay magical out there. Hi, neighbor. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of That Witch Podcast. If you want to support the show and get your hands on some really magical goodies, make sure you check out some of the awesome companies that I'm an affiliate for in the show notes below. You can also leave a 5-star rating and review on iTunes as well as Spotify now. And really the best way to support That Witch Podcast is just by sharing the show online, like your social media platforms, or telling a friend that you think would enjoy it. If you're looking for more magical content like bonus episodes, classes I teach, and support in your witchcraft, make sure you come check us out in That Witch School, my magical monthly membership with a very welcoming private online community. And don't forget to subscribe to my email list for weekly astro forecasts, journal prompts, and more, and stay up to date with all of the happenings here in the neighborhood.